What is up, race fans? We have got a quick turnaround this week with Leogang just around the corner. So if you haven't already, now is the time to head on over to theracecompanion.com and lock in those teams. This episode is once again supported by our good friends at Invisiframe. So yes, the 15% discount code is still live. Whether you've got a brand new bike to protect or want to refresh your current one, head to invisiframe.co.uk and use the code TheRaceCompanion, that's TheRaceCompanion, at checkout. Now, as many of you might know, I ride for Marin Bikes. And this week, we have got one hell of a prize, all right? This week's race winner will bag a £100 or $130 Marin Bikes merch gift card, depending on where you're based. So that's right, some fresh Marin kit on us so you can look as good as this. Magic. So that's right, some fresh Marin kit on us. And let me tell you, the gear is dialed. Now, in today's episode with Andrew Neethling, we're breaking down the upcoming race in Leogang, the iconic venue. You'll hear Andrew's top picks, his take on whether Aaron Gwyn could make a surprise return to form, and a couple of sleeper picks as well that might just shake up the global leaderboard. All right, Wardy 1990 is the top guy right now on our global leaderboard, but that doesn't mean he's going to win this week's prize. All right, we set the prize every week. We score the points every week separately along with the global leaderboard. So you don't have to have played every round. You can hop in and you can still win a prize. So don't forget to share the Race Companion with your friends, your riding buddies, or anyone else you think who might enjoy playing a little bit of fantasy downhill. So without further ado, here's Andrew Neethling with the Leogang pre-race show. Enjoy.
Hello, race fans. Welcome back. This is the Race Companion Fantasy Mountain Bike Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Neethling. You may know me from Moving the Needle podcast, so shout out if you've followed some of our episodes there. Now, what are we diving into this week? Now, it's a quick turnaround. We're going to do the pre-race for Leogang in Austria. All the teams were having a real hard time to get out of that venue. They got to drive across a few countries and get to Leogang because from what I can tell, that race starts on Saturday. Well, not starts, they race on Saturday, which means they've got to start track work on Wednesday. Now, Leogang, Austria is really pretty synonymous with the downhill racing circuit, I must say. Their first race that was held there in 2010. They've also hosted 2 world championships. I've been lucky enough to race there. It's always a fun track. It's definitely the track of 2 halves, which we'll get into later. Now, what's the history there? Last year's winners were Loic Bruni and Valley Hole. Valley also won here in 2023 alongside her countryman Andy Kolb. So that I was there on site. That was so insane. Man, the vibe was cool. So can Valley Hole deliver again? Can Andy Kolb get back to his winning ways? That was his maiden World Cup victory. So that was pretty cool. Past winners at Leogang. Let's go through some of them. Troy Brosnan has won there in the past. Matt Walker. Greg Menard obviously not racing, but he dominated that place here and there. But a man who seriously has done some damage there is Aaron Gwyn. We all know that famous chainless run. That is where it happened. It happened in Leogang. Can he bounce back? Can he get some form? Now, what about some rider and team news? I guess we've got to start talking about injuries. There's not really going to be any team changes. But coming off Ludenville, man, there were some notable crashes. I mean, I'm not even going to get to all of them. So if I miss some, let me know in the comments. But Remy Theron and Lisa Baumann are definitely out, I think, with collarbone issues. Arise van Leuven, super bummer. She came back. She was doing practice, seemed good, feeling good. She's crashed out. I think she even had to get airlifted off the mountain. So I can't see that she's back. Eleanor Farina had some big crashes and mentioned she's hit her head. So I would hope she's going to be sidelined. I mean, in terms of if she's really hit her head, she's got to be safe. Hope she's back sooner rather than later. Yeah, so we were a host of injuries. That's for sure, man. Now, Leogang. What's the course like? What are the specific sections? What are the weather conditions? What other factors might influence the performance, you may ask? Now, I would say Leogang is the gold standard for a race of two halves. The track is split by a blistering fast motorway section in the bike park. Now, you've all seen that bike park. It's as fast as Ludenville, if not faster, but it's probably a little safer, one would argue. It's got that crazy wooden berm at the end that some riders jump into. It's a little bike park here at the top, but we are hearing they're going to maybe do some additions and some changes at the top. So look out for that. So that makes it a little bit more technical at the top, then some linking sections, and then there's that famous stump section that's now very exposed. If it rains, it is a crapshoot. It is horrible to ride. Those routes are very exposed. They're old. They got no give. They're just so slippery. And then it's a very key section when you exit that motorway, or no, exit the route section onto the motorway. If you mess up that route section, you can mess up the whole motorway. And I mean, you can actually give away the race there. So that's a key section. So, riders that are really composed good, Loris Verge, Lucas Shaw, Troy Brosnan. I mean, all the top guys are obviously composed, don't get me wrong. Loic Bruni, look for them to be really smart there. And then the motorway is all about holding speed. Your Lucas Shaws just absolutely crush that. So that's cool to see. And then when you drop into the bottom woods, that's where they've made a new section since the World Champs in 2020 when Reece Wilson won. We could seriously see some rain, guys. We are in the mountains there. The weather apps, it's tough to really rely on them. You kind of got to look out your bedroom door in the morning. Even though you see blue skies, you could have a late afternoon thunder shower. We get that a lot in Leogang, and from what I'm seeing, it looks like there is a threatening bit of rain, at least on Saturday. So what does that mean? I wouldn't say it's entirely a wet rider that can now suddenly do well there, because you still got the motorway, but it will shake things up, that's for sure. Now, podium picks. It's going to sound boring, but I have to throw Loic back in there because he had a frustrating Ludenville. And he also won there last year. So, I mean, how do you not bet on him for a podium? I think he's going to have some fire in his belly, for sure. But let's mix it up a bit. Why don't we throw Finn Isles in there? He was incredibly good there last year, considering he didn't have that much practice. And then Lochy, Stevens McNabb. Come on, you've been on my team. You got the pace, you got the form, you had a podium there last year. His skill set suits that track. Are we going to see him bounce back from really a subpar start to the season on the new Track Factory racing team? So there's kind of a little bit of a mix it up. And then in the women, well, I'm going with Valley. She's dominated here the last 2 years. Not the greatest start to the season, but isn't this the time she needs to turn it around? She wasn't quite happy with how she rode in Ludenville. At least she wasn't comfortable on the course. So is this where she just gets the season going? And I think this is actually her last World Cup win was here last year. So we're talking on almost a year in between. Miriam has been strong here in the past. She was strong in Ludenville in qualifying. I'm going to throw her there. And then Anna Newkirk. I'm going to put her ahead of Tani because we have an asterisk with Tani. How is she going to recover? Is the injury going to get better as the few days go by, or is she going to tighten up? Is it going to get worse? Is adrenaline going to wear off? What's going to happen there? And then something different. Why don't we throw some wildcard podium picks? Let's throw Andy Kolb in there. We spoke about his 1 year before. He needs to get his season go. Troy Brosnan, the same. Not quite the form we expect. And then Luca coming on fifth. Absolutely dominates the motorway. And clearly he's a force to be reckoned with this season already in fifth. Wildcard podium picks in the women, Cami Belange and Nina Hoffman. Let's throw them in there. I think Cami's been fourth now twice. Should be a good track for her. She won World Champs there in 2020, if memory serves me correct. And then Nina Hoffman, unlucky with the wind at the top. I think she'll be frustrated, but eager to get going, eager to go straight to Leogang. It's a really quick turnaround. So that's a good thing. Now, sleeper picks, what does that mean? Is that someone that doesn't cost much, like Nathan Ponfion? I mean, he's going on my team, hint, hint. And then, how's this for a sleeper pick? Gwyn. Yeah? People are not expecting to get back on the podium. People say some things. Is he done? Is he not focusing on World Cups? Well, this is a track which he's got some good vibes from. So look for him to go quick. And he had some mistakes in his finals and got 19th, jumping into the second round of the World Cup Series. That can be a challenge. And then in the ladies, Phoebe Gale, 6 last week. Such a talent. Let's see her up there. Now let's jump into some Fantasy League updates. If you haven't seen the post show from Ludenville, let's go through them again. We're going to look at the global league standings. This is after round 2. Now, unfortunately, round 1, Baggy slips down to 15th. But first is Wardy, 1990. That's not his points. He's actually got 2,288 points. He won an Avisi Frame prize bundle from round 2, but he's leading the series. So that's cool. Second is Corey Norris Jones. Third is LeFab. Fourth, Steve Doyle and Vanessa Benisi, actually, in fifth. Wow, I got to get better at my names. How's this for a shout out? Joe Greening, how are you doing this? You're in last place. Okay, that's cool. With 0 points. Again, I need to go fact check that. How do you even get 0 points? Guys, huge reminder. Don't forget there's still time to head over to the racecompanion.com to set your team. Play for prizes in this global league or even create a league of your own with your mates just for fun. Now, the post-race show that I have dropped, remember, there is a way longer, more in-depth one that I do on Moving the Needle podcast. That's my channel. And I'd appreciate if you go check it out. I obviously do interviews with some of the top downhillers, mountain bikers, and industry people. So thanks for tuning in. And again, go over to Race Companion and let us know in the comments what you're doing with your picks.
Alrighty, here we are at the end of the episode, and you know what to do, folks. Head on over to theracecompanion.com, lock in those teams, alright? You've got to be in it to win it. It's free to play, and it's a bunch of fun. You can even, if you haven't already, set up a league with your friends, your riding group, or whoever. Maybe they don't even like downhill, but they just want to play a game with you online that's not like PUBG or Candy Crush or something. Anyway, whatever. So Leogang's coming up. I'm hyped. Hopefully you're hyped. Hopefully you're locked in. Team locked in. And we're ready for some more race action with this one in Leogang. So that's it. And that's that. Don't forget, invisiframe.co.uk. Enter the code The Race Companion. You can get 15% off. Big thanks to Marion Bikes for hooking this week's round winner up with an epic merch bundle. And I think that's it. Thanks all. Enjoy.